Hello guys, and welcome to Tina's Dreamy Creations. I'm back again. Okay, let's see, where are we at? I have issues with resin. I've developed contact dermatitis from the resin, so I have to be really careful. I'm trying to be really careful with the gloves. I don't have a respirator on. I would advise you to wear yours. I do have a balcony door, sliding door that's open. When I pull these on my hand, just touch them underneath. So what I've done so far to the butterfly is I've sprinkled some of this lavender. It's by Leo Bro. It's holographic, chunky and fine mixed glitter. So I've put that into the background. And the lights, as far as the lights go, all I did was start from the beginning. Here, I'll turn them on and show you. Maybe you can see them better. Place them where I want them. And I took the UV resin with little dots and kind of held it down where I wanted it, little by little, and put the little spots to make it stay where I want it. So that's all I've done there to the butterfly. I've been waiting patiently so I can share it with y'all. Y'all, I am from the South. I'm from Georgia. Grew up in Georgia and Tennessee, but I've been living in Ohio for a long time now. So, anyways, let's do this. Getting my paper towels ready, everything at hand, where I want it to be. Let's see. A couple things I wanted to do. My resin is warming up. I put it in recycle the used water bottles. I make sure they're dry and clean on the inside first. Then I put my part A in one and B in the other, and I, if I could talk, I put them inside of another container and let them sit in really hot water. And then I just refill them as I need them. So this one, I still haven't done anything. I had a lot going on with church and stuff. So I'm just placing this iridescent sticker down in there. Butterfly. Is it what you call iridescent? Iridescent. The back of the other box I still have not finished, so I'm going to pour some lavender in here. And here's the top that's going to go on that. I took that out of the mold. Isn't that pretty, the way it turned out? Okay, let me check my camera. Let's see. Let's turn the flash on. If I could touch it with my gloved hands. I'm still learning. Getting better. It's getting easier. So, but anyways, this is where we're at right now, and this is all we're going to do tonight. It's very late in the morning. I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. I just wanted to shoot this video because I want that butterfly to get done. It takes so many layers. So, see, I've taken the water bottles. I always take a paper towel on them when I take them out of the water. I put A and B on the lids and everything, and then I just use a Folgers container with really hot water. Nothing special. It works. But I always take a paper towel to dry it when I get it out, because you don't want water in your resin. So, with that being said, we're going to finish that. We're going to put back on that and finish that. So I think I only need maybe 8 grams, 8 ounces, should I say. So I'm going to put 4. Of B, It's always best to put B first. I mark the bottle and then I mark the lid so I don't get them mixed up. Because if you mix them together, one time I went to refill the bottles and I wasn't paying attention. This was a while ago, and I poured the rest I had, and I didn't have that much. And I poured the part A and the part B, and so I had to hurry up and mix it and pour it somewhere really fast. So yeah, I did that. Stuff happens. Okay. That off 4. So we're going to go up to 8. When you warm your resin up, it's way thinner than sitting in the cold, and it mixes so much faster. And it's a little tad above. So much faster than the other way. So I got it a little bit up, so I'm going to put just a tad of B in there to bring it up just a little bit. Make sure it's even. So I've probably got about 8.5 ounces now. Like I said, I do have the balcony door open, and I am going to get my mask and start using it. It's better to be safe than sorry on down the road. You know, I've seen some videos and stuff. And it doesn't affect everybody the same way, but it is safe. But when the chemical reactions are moving together, it's toxic. It really is. And that's just truth no matter what brand you use. But once it's cured, it's safe. But like I said, I do have a sliding glass door over there open, and there's wind blowing in there, and they say to put like a fan on, and I want to get an air purifier to put in here and try to keep my face out of the resin. But anyways, when you're mixing, you want to make sure you're scraping the sides and the bottom and mixing as slow as you can. I didn't clean this out last time, so I got a coat of clear resin that dried, and it feels a little different in there because it's set, you know, on the inside, which is okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Eventually, I could probably even peel it out, but I just got preoccupied and forgot to clean my jug out. But it's, I don't know if you can see the little streaks in the cloudiness. When you stop seeing the trails and the cloudiness goes away and you've mixed for 3 to 5 minutes, then you know it's mixed well. If it's not mixed well, it's not going to work right. Scrape your tools. And I can't express it enough that I learned from my mistakes 5 years in. Now I'm going to learn from mistakes of recordings and posting and learning to edit videos. So that's what I'm learning now. As far as this 5 years, I'm still learning. There's some amazing artists out there that I've learned from. Like I said, I apologize. I can't remember all of their names. There's Poxy Princess. And then there's Glitz and Glitter. And Michelle and her husband. I love watching them. And I love watching Reptiles and Resin. Pouring Your Heart Out. And I can't think of what that other lady... There's several others I watch, but I'm sorry I can't remember their names. But, you know, go to their page, subscribe, like their videos, and I'm sure you'll really enjoy and learn from their videos too. And that's how I learned. I learned from watching other people's videos and their mistakes and you know, good, the bad, and the ugly. So as I'm learning... Even though I've been doing it 5 years, you're going to see some good, bad, and ugly. And we'll just share it all together. But yeah, you get less bubbles when it's warmed up. It mixes much easier and faster. And it just all together is better. But I got sidetracked. I'm getting tired. My sleeping meds are starting to kick in. So excuse me, I'm sorry. When you're mixing... your resin in this container or whatever container you use, after you've done, before you scrape the bottom out of here, make sure you scrape it into another cup and mix it some more, add color to it or whatever you're doing. Mix more into it. Mix it in another I can't even talk right. Into another container. Mix it really good because you will get streaks and cloudiness and spots. So, that being said, because no matter how much you mix it in here, there's little bits on the sides and stuff, and then when you get to scraping, you know, you can't scrape every single little spot, but you try to. But anyways, so this is mixed. You see there's bubbles coming up to the top. And it's clear now. But when it's warm like that, the bubbles come up better. You don't get very many bubbles. I'm not big enough to the point where I can afford to get certain things like the things that take the bubbles out of it, your resin, and like the compressors and different things like that. So I don't want to leave this in my cup too long, sitting deep, because it could flash cure. So I want to break it down. I can break it down into smaller cups. And the deeper it is, the faster it's going to get hot. So you have like 40 minutes working time. But when you warm it up, it reduces some of the time. It's not going to lie, but it still works better that way. So this one needs clear. So we're going to try to do this. Get this done so I can go to bed. So we're just going to do some a clear coat in here with this baby. And I've also learned it's better when you want to put glitters and stuff. It's better to put it in another container like this instead of here, because it's harder to clean out of here with the glitter. And you're going to see pieces of glitter here and there through your projects. So, this... Oh, what did I want to do? I think I'm going to do... I put all those alcohol inks. This is the back layer, but I don't want it so dark that it covers up the lights in there and you don't see it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this lilac. But I think I'm only going to put just a little bit. Just a little bit, so it's kind of see-through still. And I've said before, it's better just to put a little bit in your cup and mix it and then add the resin, because the powders, make sure you scrape your sides. You can get like little balls of powders, like when you're mixing flour for gravy or whatever. You know how you gotta whisk it and whisk it and whisk it, and you know, and you still see them pop up, little pockets of powder, dry powder is what it is. So, I don't know if you can see in there those little, I'm trying to do this so you can see on the camera without spilling it. You could see the little swirlies in there. So you want to make sure you get those all mixed up. But I don't want to you want to mix it good, but you don't want to get a wire whisk in here and just whip it. And the more you mix it faster, it seems to me that it sets up quicker also. So, but see, I want to try to get those spots out. See the little spots on there? It looks like a bug or bugs or something. It's just little spots of powder. So yeah, just gonna get this mixed up really good. You see how it's still transparent. So it's not completely opaque. So that's why if you put a little bit in there, it becomes like it's still kind of transparent. But if you don't, if you put more into it, then it becomes more opaque. So I think I am going to put some crushed crystal in there. Yeah, this is from Unicorn Art. Crushed crystal. Almost all the resiners use it, and I just got this like a couple weeks ago, and I'm so excited. Open it, away from your project, so I'm sure you'll probably see little things fly just by looking at it and by opening it. So it only takes a little bit, depending on what you want to do. But yeah, I would just use just a little bit. This one I'm going to make kind of a lot, but not. It's just going to be a background. I'm sure you see it flying everywhere. It just like sparkles in the air. Like, ooh. Be careful, my lungs could be sparkling also. And same with that. You can get little clumps in there if you don't mix it up good too. So it gives it this little sparkle, like a real fine sparkle. That stuff's awesome. I paid like what? Oh Lord, I think I paid like $9 on Amazon. Might have been 15, I can't remember. But that, with the little amount you have to use, that container is probably going to last you a long time. So it's well worth every penny. So I'm going to put the lid on that. That's what I want. And I'm going to spray this with some isopropyl 99% alcohol. I got that on Amazon too. And be careful how to spray, because I put the glitter down first instead of putting it in the resin. But I want to make sure I get a good amount of resin here so that it gets up underneath those wires. Doesn't incorporate more bubbles in my stuff. So here we go. Hopefully this is the right color for the background. I think it should be. It's going to be beautiful regardless, but this is like the 5th layer. It's taken so many layers. And you don't have to get it all the way to the top. But it's a really thick mold. I can't pick it up and show you now because I put the resin in it. It's a really thick mold, and it sets up. It could be like a bookends, or just a night light. Just something pretty to set, and that lights up. So we all need things to light up in our life, and a little sparkle. Sparkles. I should have already been in bed. I didn't get much sleep last night. But I so just wanted to get this done. And I didn't want to do it off the camera. And I'm sorry I did the lights off the camera. But it's pretty simple. We just use little dots of UV resin and hold it down with a stick or something away from it. And, you know, cure it with a UV light lamp. You don't have to do it that way, but I found the other way you're just fighting and fighting and fighting, trying to keep it down so it don't go anywhere. To where if you use the UV resin and little dots, like I said, and just some floater resins. And that's pretty. I'm wondering if I should have went a little darker though, actually. Goodness gracious, that purple is dark. Dark purple. Magenta. I'm going to put a little bit of alcohol resin in here because it's kind of clear, and we'll see. I'm just going to go around. That's what the other layer was. This is alcohol resin, alcohol inks. This is Let's resin. This is the magenta. And alcohol inks, dyes, and everything, they just do their own thing, and it's really cool to watch it. I'm not going to put any Sinker white. You're probably not going to see much of this in here. But I got this so opaque and clear that it's just bugging me. Because I can see all the wires. I mean, you will see the wires, but I've got lots of 3D dimensions in there, so maybe this will bring out more of the colors, because I swirled it around when it lights up. So let's see, I'm going to hit the button. Phew, now you can see it. What's this called? Oh, that's magenta. I already did that one. Magenta and blue. I'm going to do the purple. Oh, well, we'll just go for it. plan stuff and plan stuff when it gets down to it. You're allowed to change your mind. It's your project. You know, you may want to do completely different colors. I mean, that's fine. Do it the way you want to. Express yourself. As long as you follow the guidelines as far as colors and inks and dyes and stuff. You know, just express yourself and have fun, right? If you can't have fun, why even do it? So, I'm going to swirl this around. I got to be careful because them lights are in there. So, I'm going to do it slowly. Slowly and not like scraping the bottom. Because them they're UV lights. Those lights are in there with UV resin. And they're not going anywhere, but if I'm just like scraping and, you know, I could break the lights and stuff if I'm not careful. So I'm just being a little extra careful getting this in here. I just want to get this thing done. And I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. So I think this is going to be the last layer I do. After it sets, I'll pick it up and look at it and think of maybe if I should put a back color on it or not. Or just leave it that deep. So, okay, so that one, more alcohol. Gets rid of those nasty bubbles. Nasty bubbles. I got these from Mark's. They're like cutting boards, but I thought they'd be cool because they got a grip to them and the resin comes off of them easy. So I need to do that one. And the magenta, which is in here, and the lid is what I wanted my second color to be. So I'm going to put some of this in here and make some magenta. Shouldn't take too much to cover it up, do it. Then I'm going to leave a little clear in here to see what I'm going to do with the last bit. This project. And I always make sure I got some extra molds sitting around so that, you know, if I have extra, I don't need to get up and move around. I try to have my paper towels tore off here, everything at hand that I think and know I'm going to need, and try to plan a project the best I can before I sit down and put on this camera so that I'm prepared. So I don't have to get up and move around. And sometimes you may have to go grab something, but you know what I'm saying. This one I'm going to put just a little bit more than the other one. So I don't want it to be, I want it to be a little bit more opaque instead of see-through. So yeah, I try to put my lids and stuff back on stuff. Sometimes if the resin's moving and it's getting warm, you want to keep moving because you only have so much working time. And each resin is different. I'm using T-Expert at the time right now. It's pretty budget friendly. It's a great resin. I just love it. It's one of my favorites. And I get it on Amazon. And it's called T-Expert. Now, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. That's just what I'm using. That's what I like right now. So yeah. Try to get this mixed up as good as I can. So I don't have any floaters and sinkers and swirlies in there. Okay. And I'm going to spray some resin down into here. These cracks. I like how it stayed. It was kind of thick, so it stayed on the back, except for that one spot. And then the blue, the rest of the blue went down in there, so it's going to be double colored. So here we go. Try to pour it a little bit clear. Try to pour it a little slowly. Not to incorporate as many bubbles as possible in your projects. Bubbles are not our friends when it comes to resin art. Just want to make sure I get that pretty full. Hey, my guesstimation was working again. I can't scrape it. I'll use it for something else here in a second. So there that mold goes. The mold and the lid to the mold. I hope y'all can see that. But when you pour that in there with the mica powders, it makes a perfect cross in the middle. I think that's so cool. Just I am a child of God. I love my crosses. I love my Jesus, and there ain't no shame in it. You know, if you ever want to know anything about my Jesus, I could surely tell you more. I love to talk about Jesus. So I love the cross boxes. Beautiful. Okay, so now I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put the rest of my things. I love making the bathtubs, the claw tubs, but I don't know, I ain't got really that much in here. So now I'm gonna scrape it into another container. Last bit of it. I'm just gonna put it in here with this color. It's fine, I'll just figure out something to put it in. I got molds all around me. I just got to pick and choose which one I want to use, depending on how much resin I have too, because it's starting to get thick. I did have it quite warm. The apartment building I live in, at certain times in the nighttime, like between 3 and 5, it's hard to get hot water. So what I did is I ran some hot water through the coffee pot, and I should have let it cool down just a little bit more before I mixed my resin. Oops. Before I mixed my resin, but that's okay. It just speeded up the process because it was pretty hot. I just ran water through the coffee pot, poured it in those things, and set the jugs in it. So scrape, 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 because I'm scraping this into my other container. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of resin left, which is fine. I didn't want to be on here all night. Just want to get this done. And enjoy the process, of course. You know, you have to keep it moving. And I used to get so nervous when the resin was mixed. But I've learned to relax a bit more. And, you know, you have to be aware of the time. You do. Try to just pace yourself and keep moving. Keep filling your resin. Because the hotter it gets, and it's getting ready to set up, and it's getting a little thicker. But it's not so thick that I can't work with. Okay. I think that's good for now. So get this in here. Clean off your tools. Use an isopropyl alcohol. Clean everything up with alcohol. I use the 99%. I have bought like the 71% and 91%. 71 is desperation. 91 is okay. But 99 cleans up things a whole lot better. And I'm going to try to keep my workspace clean as I go. Spread it off of here. I just got these. Oh. Okay. So yeah, let me turn off these lights. Make sure where the, you know, when you're using your gloves and you're working with the resin, the stickiness on your gloves, touching projects that are already finished or they're already finished can mess them up. So, swirl in there. Kind of like that swirl. I'll just do another lid and then I'll make the bottom to it later. I'm actually liking the way this is looking. I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of looks swirled in between the clear. Let's see. And the what is it called? It's a lavender color, but it's called lilac, I think. It's close to lavender. There's a lot of different shades that say lavender, but there's colors that say lavender, but yet they're different shades. So I call it a lavender, but I think it's lilac. But it's a beautiful color. This is transparent with a swirl in it because I didn't use a whole lot. And then I just put it set back into that same cup, because this is the extra that came out. So it'll be beautiful. And if it doesn't fill to the top, which it's not going to, then the next time I can just add some to it and then work with the bottom of the box. It's a cross box. I got these molds off of Amazon that I'm working with, so. Scrape, now I can scrape it because I've stirred it all together in this cup out of the original cup that I mixed in. So there won't be any parts of unmixed resin in here. So yeah. And save your scraps. Like what's left in here may not look much, but you know, resin is expensive. So I found with these cups, I let it dry, and then the next day, I just kind of crack it, pop it a little bit, flick my fingers around, remove it from the sides, and I take it, and I put it in another container, and I just keep saving all your scraps. Because you can use them in so many different ways. You're putting resin into resin, so you want to use your scraps. So yeah, so that's all I'm going to do. Clean this. Clean your sticks, reuse them. Once you got resin on them and you clean them off like this, and you lay them to dry, you can use them again, and they're sealed. They seal the wood so you don't get air bubbles in your wood too. So that's too. I try to be mindful and try not to waste. Sometimes I reuse my gloves, just depending on how sticky they are. But I've been having to really, let me spray this because all the bubbles are coming up because it's thick. There. So I'm trying to be really careful about touching my hands with any type of resin, because I'll wear my gloves and then I'll get off camera and I'll take them off and start touching like the alcohol bottle that I just touched, the stick that I just touched, the cup, moving stuff around, and I'm still touching it just little bits, and then it's going on my hands, and it's causing the back of my hands to break out. And I'm not saying it's the resin I'm using's fault. I'm saying that my skin, even after 5 years, it wasn't always like this. I have developed like a contact dermatitis, something like that, is eczema from touching. And even like, I gotta be careful, I started wearing gloves when I'm doing dishes, and so it's not just the resin, but the resin can do that. And I seen some pictures the other day, this woman, her whole face, oh my goodness, her neck, her arm, and it was real bad. So just be mindful to use your equipment. Like I said, when I get my mask back here from the other place, I'm going to, even though I got the ventilation, I think I'm going to try to wear it, even though I don't like it. But from wearing my mask and accidentally touching the edges of it to take it up and down so I can breathe, it kind of freaks me out a little bit sometimes. I got it on my face, and my face was broke out. I got it on my eye was broke out and swelled. So just be mindful of what you're doing, and be careful, because we are working with chemicals. And I'm not downing any resin by far, but it's just the truth. And all of these are ran together. I probably shouldn't even put any alcohol in here. But it's okay. This is the back. I'm just going to do some swirlies in there. See, if I'd have took my gloves off and picked this stick up that I used before, with the gloved sticky hand, I still would have touched the resin. And I'm just being mindful and trying to share the experience, so you don't have the experience that I have with it. Bad experiences with resin. Sometimes I think, well, maybe I should stop doing resin. No, I've done this 5 years and I love it. So I'm going to learn to be more careful person. And be mindful of not to touch anything and make sure that everything is where it should be before I take these gloves off. And even when I take the gloves off, I could take the sticky thumb and push it underneath there and push it on the back of my hand. And I've touched it again on my skin. It's just the back of my hands, and I don't know why, but... And it does burn, and it itches sometimes. So I'm not going to touch anything else. So I'm going to pull it off to here and then use the other glove to pull this one off so that when I pull these off, I'm not touching it. Not touching it. I'm going to put those aside. But I don't know if you can see my hands through here. Tops of my fingers right here. And sometimes that stuff hurts and sometimes it's not so bad, but it feels real rough. But I've been using Gold Bond medicated for eczema, and it's been helping. So, but don't touch anything, Tina. So I'm about to try something else. So you guys have a blessed day. We'll come back tomorrow, and I can't wait to demold that butterfly. It's taken all week just to get one butterfly done. So yes, love you all. Have a blessed day. Bye.